The Legend of Jin Sakai, The Ghost of Tsushima, was a story forged in the fires of the invasion. It was a perfect self contained epic game that everybody consumed, that it was going to be Game of the Year, but unfortunately, it moved on to another game. How did we develop a story about the birth of Jin Sakai? And of course, the birth of something very different and very intriguing. For a long time, the path forward wasn't just clear. And then Sucker Punch decided to make a move that nobody never saw, a standalone sequel with a massive year jump into the early Hindu period with a new protagonist. Look, Sucker Punch's decision to jump 300 years into the future with a new hero was a massive gamble. This is not the sequel I expected or anybody else expected. But if the gamble delivers a story that's darker and way more personal than anything that we saw with Jin Sakai, the story of Atsu, a mercenary on a quest for vengeance, and how her journey redefines the legends of the ghosts for a whole new generation. The gamble of a new era and the gamble of a new story was a big part of Sucker Punch to really do this game. And for Atsu's, she's kind of completely different. She's not a samurai. She's in a different era where samurais are no longer the absolute authority. There are rising mercenaries, and there's, of course, opportunist clans trying to fight control in these areas. And for her story is pretty different. She is a mercenary. She's a blade for hire, sharp by a single defined trauma. 16 years ago, her family was slaughtered by a gang of ambitious clan leaders who are now known as the Yōtei Six. And that's where the name comes from. They left her for dead as a child, but she witnessed a lot of, trauma from what they did to her family and did to her. And she fled and she trained and she sharpened her weapons to get the vengeance. Now, her story is very different. Where Jin Sakai, he fought for his people, he fought for his land, he fought to get control of his land from the Mongolia, while Asu fights for a ghost of her past. So her story is a little bit more darker and a little bit more different experience than Jin Sakai. Like I said, Jin Sakai fought for his land, he fought for his people, he fought for things to make things right for his people in his country. Where her was like it just straight up vengeance. So for her story in this new era was a really big gamble to kind of get people to intertwine itself with Gene Sakai. They tried to intertwine it a little bit. I think Gene Sakai will kind of have some story told, but I think his fought for his people are gonna be um is gonna be tell. Now a lot of people want to know if she's gonna have like some experience or like if she's gonna be like a distant relative to Gene Sakai. We don't know. We don't know her whole family's name. But her family was slaughtered 16 years ago when she was a little girl, and she witnessed that. So her story is a little bit more darker than Gene Sakai, and that's pretty good. We went from a story where we fought for peace and land to make things right for his people, compared to in her era where this period is completely different, where nobody gives nothing. They don't really care about anything. If they want your land, they will take your land. Now, a lot of people has been talking about how this is going to work with, the structure of everything. Now, of course, Sucker Punch will have to do some really serious research of that period, of that time period of the Indo period, where it's completely different. The combat system is going to be completely different than the combat system we had with Gene Sakai. Gene Sakai just was, straight up katana, samurai sword. His time period was more focused on being a samurai. Now, her time period is going to be more like she will have katanas, she will have other weapons, long range weapons like spears and stuff like that, and versatile weapons and do katanas. We saw the trailers of the weapon that she will use in her time period for herself, and of course, gunpowder. So, of course, they had to do a lot of research on this period because this period is completely different. This is 300 years after. So, their advancement in their technology has become a lot better compared to his time period where, it's just simple combat system. This combat system is going to be completely different. Now, is the combat system going to be something like how it is in Assassin's Creed Shadows? Maybe, but it's gonna be a little bit more redefined with a purpose. She's gonna be judging by some of the videos and some of the things that we saw that they put out for the last couple of weeks. She seemed like she's head on. So she seemed like she's like ready to fight, like she don't really care, like she's ready to take down anything that she needed to take you down with. If she's gonna be stealthy, it depends. We'll see when the game drops October 2nd. She's gonna be like stealthy type, like how it is in Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I doubt it because their combat systems is completely different. Like I said, this time period is completely different. This time period, you walk in, they're mercenaries. And if you guys do know how mercenaries are, they're not gonna do anything quiet. They're gonna go in there, bust in there, and take anything that really belongs to you. So people just need to understand that the combat system is going to be a little bit different. We will see hands on when I be able to play this game. Ghost of Yotei's story is about trauma. Atsu's quest isn't a no broken stage; it's open world. The game conveys masterfully through its narrative a key moment you can instantly travel back in time to Asa's childhood. Just like how we did with Gene Sake, we kind of went back to his period with his childhood, with his father and his grandfather. These aren't just cutscenes, they're playable flashbacks that let you witness the life that was stolen from her, to feel the warmth of her family she lost before this excruciating pain and trauma from the Yōtei Six. Um, and that's pretty good. I like to feel that's one thing about Sucker Punch. I kind of noticed that with Gene Sake too. You kind of feel like his understanding of his childhood and stuff of, wanna be to make things right, where his father was like, "Look, you gotta fight back. You can't be, like a wimp, basically." And I like those type of stuff that Sucker Punch do, that will provide an emotional core, constantly remind both Ase and the player that what's at stake and what has been lost with you. So that's kind of good. Hopefully, when I play that, we will have like a connection with us, Ase. I hope I'm not pronouncing her name right. If I'm not, I'm completely sorry. Her journey is going to be a solitude, but not without allies, and hopefully, who challenge her worldview along the way. She meets people to see beyond her. Um, and like I said, she's not a samurai. She don't have no type of like um title or something like that that people need to remember her as. She was just a normal, basically like a normal kid, just living her basic life. And these Yōtei Six just came in and took that from her. So we're gonna offer a glimpse of the future beyond revenge. The presence creates an eternal conflict for her, and she's just a vessel for her family's vengeance, and she can forge a new purpose. She can find a way to honor those memories without becoming a monster herself, becoming like the Yōtei Six. The emotional weight will carry with the voice performance from Erica, who brings a raw performance of Ose. You can hear in her voice, and you can hear the voice performance from Erica that she did a really wonderful job. I don't know about the members of the Yosei Six. I don't know about their performance. But she brings a really good voice performance to her character. Now, a lot of people has been questioned about her and what her stance is, and like, hey, she just is open minded. She's a voice actress. She does this for a living. And judging by her performance, I think she's gonna do a wonderful job, and she's gonna bring this character to life, and she's gonna make us become into this character as we're playing this game on October 2nd. So I can't wait to see her performance with this particular character. And people just need to understand whatever people do outside, whatever people do outside their own personal way, that is their personal being. And people just need to understand that. Yes, she is part of the LGBT community. She does have a wife, and then she does support things that she feel is right for her, for herself and her family. And, I hate when people kind of, people, I see it in the comment sections of a couple of the videos that Sony posts out for Ghost of Yotei. And I see in the comment section when they put out, oh, don't bring politics into video games and stuff like this. And that at the end of the day, you go in the comment section, they bring politics into the situation, which is kind of interesting to me. I just don't understand why people do that. They say one thing and they do something completely different, and I just never understood that. Now, Atsu might not be a samurai, but she's a new ghost. Her methods, however, are evolution of the legend Jin Sakai that he created. Stealth is still critical, but it's more redefined, more predatory. Sucker Punch designed a self system to feel more in power and prioritize the fantasy of being a vengeful spirit. Also, move with a lethal grace and use and expand toolkits of smoke bombs, kananas, and environmental traps to stow chaos and fear before ever drawing her main weapon. So they still will have a stealthy critical aspect to this, and I hope their stealthy is a little bit more better, a little bit more smooth. I think Gene Sockeye one wasn't too bad, but I felt like it could be a little bit smoother. I hope it's a lot better than Assassin's Creed Shadows. I felt like Assassin's Creed Shadows stealthiness is not really as good, but who is me to judge? But that's just how I felt. The world itself is designed to help you. Stunning visuals are doing more just offer beautiful, beautiful landscapes to Japan. And that's one thing that Sucker Punch really do. I remember the opening scene of Ghost of Tsushima, and that opening scene of him running through the fields was just beautiful and just wonderful. And the only thing that you guys got to worry about, you got to use the visuals and the beautifulness of Japan, especially their weather system, to kind of like hide yourself from, the enemies itself. So, um, there's going to be a little bit more darker tone in this game, but actually at the same time, it will provide a natural cover, enhance the feeling that you are a supernatural force. The rich and bold and the diverseness of the environments and the audio and the sound recording from like real Japanese nature is going to really come alive in this game. The player's freedom is paramount. The game will respect your time, like near instant fast travel and systems where vendors can be brought to your campsite, but more importantly is respect your urgencies. While there is the main story path, you have an option to how to approach the hunt for the Yōtei Six, allowing for more personalized journey of vengeance. A non approach meaning your story will feel unique. Perhaps you will go after the most heavy guarded target first, or maybe you'll dismantle the organization from within itself. Each path offers different challenges and interaction, making Atsu's story your own story. The game also includes director modes inspired by Japanese filmmakers, like they did for Ghost of Tsushima, and letting you experience the world through a different stylistic filters, which is pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. I love Japanese movies. They bring like a different type of style to it, and especially if it's in black and white, like and they you put the voice performance in Japanese, it makes you feel like you're in the movie itself. So I'm looking forward to that. They did that with Ghost of Tsushima, but I never really had the opportunity to really play through it black and white and use the voice actors in Japanese performance. But I saw a couple of YouTube video people of trying that, and I can't wait to try that with Ghost of Yotei. It just brings like a different level of experience to your gameplay experience. So let's circle back. This is not the sequel I expected. I think a lot of people, I was ready for more Jing Sakai. I really did enjoy Ghost of Tsushima when it first dropped in 2020. And this was on the PS4. And the visuals on that game was stunning and beautiful. I never got the opportunity to play it on PC, but I got the opportunity. I'm playing on PlayStation 5. Um, it's just one of those games that I really enjoy from Sucker Punch. That's one of the games I really enjoy, along with Infamous Second Son. But Ghost of Yotei makes a powerful argument that some legends are best left untouched, while their spirits can be reborn in a new, unexpected forms. By jumping forward 300 years, Sucker Punch made a big gamble. The first game narrative was able to explore its core themes from completing a different, arguable, more complex angle. The shift from a story to honor one of the vengeance from samurai to mercenary allowed for a darker, more personal narrative. Asu's journey isn't just becoming a legend, it's about learning to live as a person. And the game argues the idea that Ghost is not tied to one man or one time period. It's an idea they can adapt to re-image and sometimes as a noble protector and other times as a vengeful spirit. This is an unsuspected sequel. It just is it just worthy successor? It depends. A necessary evolution proving that the most powerful legends are not those are retold, but those that are redefined. If you enjoy this review and enjoy my opinion about Ghost of Yotei, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the stories and shapes the games that we love. And let me know in the comments, what does the legend of Ghosts mean to you?